One of the things you may realize about yourself is that whenever you go someplace, you feel like you've got to pretend to be somebody you're not. One of the things I heard oftentimes when I was part of a church was that a couple would fight like cats and dogs all the way to church. And as soon as they got to church, they'd get out of the car, they'd hold hands, they'd look at each other and pretend to be like everything is just fine, right? A couple of kids, everybody's happy. And the real question is, why do we have to do that? Why do we have to pretend that we're something we're not? And the root issue here is that we're afraid that if people see the real us, if they really see us spitting mad, fighting with our spouse, especially on the way to church, right? The ante goes up. And we could say that in terms of any venue in which we really feel the fear abandonment could happen, we're going to put on a mask. We're going to wear something that we hope people will like. And the reason we want them to see something we hope they like is so they don't see us. Why does that matter? Because we fear if they actually see us, they're going to abandon us, right? Abandonment is a weird concept because people, I'm the adoptive parent of 4 children, okay? They were abandoned, right? So they get, you could see it, but most of us day in, day out don't realize that we're sort of harboring this fear inside of ourselves. But as soon as we got a car at church, put a mask on, that's the same issue. Regardless of what your background is, your color, your socioeconomic status, if you have to pretend to be somebody else that you're not in public, the resource is your fear of abandonment. So, to help you feel better about it, it is a problem that's been here since the dawn of time. It is the problem that first showed up in the Garden of Eden, if that helps you about it. It's why in the Garden of Eden, when God came storming through the garden looking for Adam and Eve, guess what he did? He gave them fig leaves. Why did he give them fig leaves? Because their fear was that they were naked and that God could see them for who they really are. And that when God saw them, that he would abandon them. So what Adam and Eve did, they did what we do. They hid. We hide. We hide behind our fig leaves. We hide behind our masks, afraid that if actually anybody sees us for who we really are, they're going to hate us. Why do we have that fear? Because we hate ourselves. It's all hidden way deep down inside of there. And what is interesting here is that if we actually live in the opposite vein, if we actually live into the truth of ourselves, people will have a remarkable affinity towards us because they will start living vicariously through us. They will start saying, if only I had that kind of freedom to actually be myself in the world like you have, Rick, to put yourself out there, to be so transparent, whatever it happens to be. It's actually something that's incredibly admirable when we come and we say, you know what, I screwed up, I made a mistake, whatever. People applaud it because we are so hungry for it. We're so tired of the mask. We're so tired of wearing the stuff around. But the fear that we have that we'll be abandoned if we don't is a stronger demand on us. So, what can we do about that? It's kind of like exercise, right? We got to start small. We can't just go down there and suddenly bench lift 250 pounds, right? But we got to start someplace. We have to start in one spot, in one place. Is it a Facebook post? Is it a trip to church? Whatever it happens to be. Do one thing. Where, as Brene Brown says, we practice the art of vulnerability. Why do we practice that? Why do we do this in one specific moment? Because when we are vulnerable, it is terrifying, we will find out the truth. We're not going to get abandoned. We are actually going to get embraced. We're going to get applauded for our transparency, for our vulnerability. And we find that out in one little decision, we're more capable of making the next decision. And before you know it, you're going to be putting a YouTube out there. You're going to be putting a book out there, right? About vulnerability. And you know what? Brene Brown's got one of the greatest, TEDx talks ever it's all about this one thing, vulnerability. And vulnerability drives freedom from the fear of abandonment. So today, just make one decision. One choice, one thing you're going to do in front of one person, your kid, your spouse, a friend, YouTube, Facebook, whatever it happens to be, and expose the vulnerable side of you. Do something in a very small way to let people know who you really are and what's really going on. And what you'll find is you become not abandonable, but infinitely more attractive. And by that, I don't mean physically. I mean you will draw people to you because we are vulnerability addicts. We love it. And you'll find when the opposite happens, you can become more vulnerable. You can lift more. Your bench press will go up and up and up and up, and suddenly you'll become a professional at it, a professional transparentist, right? And you will be free. But it takes moment by moment choices. It takes small steps. It takes getting in the basement and doing one set at a time. So get started now.